Cool. Morning.
Super cold.
For us,
I can't handle it.
I can't either. Where did you grow up?
Here, Alciganda.
Yeah.
Freeze.
Yeah, for us, this is frigid. High of 60 today. Frigid. Go ahead.
Just some nuts and bolts stuff. Tyler, how's he doing? And then Dylan, he's had that cramp stuff in the past. It seemed like it had gotten fixed. Was that just a kind of a one-off or who knows type thing?
Tough to say, buddy. I mean, he's had cramping issues for 3 years, and it's gone as high as everybody at UCLA Medical. It's gone to the neuro department. I mean, there's people fly here from all over the world to help to get the best of the best. So it's not like we haven't, people don't email me with ideas, okay? Because my main man, Dr. Ansel, and who's the best at UCLA, gets our guys into every specialist that you need to get into at UCLA Medical. It's been looked at from all angles. So I think it's one of those things where they've helped him a lot, but it just creeped back up again. Man, I don't know if he was all too excited. It's not all just like, eat a banana, or it's more in-depth than that. So,
Or fluids, or
yeah, it's not just that, because we have a routine with him that, and our people are the best, from the doctors down to Tyler Lesher, and it's Dylan's, he knows it. So like, there's a routine he goes through every day before the game, day of the game.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
Does that
So,
include like diet and that sort
all
of
of
thing?
it.
All of it.
All of it, from diet to fluids to all of it.
How is
to
that
to supplements.
How is that for a player to handle all that?
You have to ask him that.
Is Tyler back?
I mean, for the most Americans, it's really hard to handle diet,
Yes.
exercise.
Yeah.
You're young though, so you'll see.
Tyler back at practice?
Oh, well, we were off yesterday. We just
Okay.
did recovery. Look,
Yeah.
this is a long stretch of games for us.
Yeah.
Long stretch. I'm very, very concerned about our emotional gas tank, just mentally.
Yeah.
Just give them a mental break yesterday, where we just did recovery stuff. Trained the guys that haven't played, but we got guys redshirting. But just hitting them with constant scouting reports. Basketball players, they care, but they're human too. Back to your question about, how is it to, I'm sure it's a lot for Dylan to do all his pre-prep stuff, but he does a great job with it. But just for teams in general to get constantly hit with another scouting report and another practice, as a coach, you got to try to assess when you think they're on overload. I think when you have a long stretch of games, you got to try to do everything you can to make sure they're ready to play on game night. So, look, as coaches, we're all paranoid at all. We live life paranoid about everything. But the older I've gotten, the more I realize less is more sometimes.
And going on that, assessing overload and all that, is that even more difficult to do this year compared to maybe last year when you knew it was Thursday, Saturday, basically with the Pac-12?
Look, in the Pac-12, it's a layup.
Right.
You get in a routine.
Yeah. And now you guys are playing like every day
from
of the
January
week.
on, you're off Sunday. You got your routine of how you handle Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. How you handle your Friday in between. I mean, it's just a routine.
Have you guys had to adjust then
Totally.
as the season went on?
Totally. Well, I mean, we knew it. It's
Right.
not like it was. I knew once we went. They announced we were going to the Big Ten. It was going to be night and day. So you're not in a routine.
Yeah.
You have every week is different. Every day, obviously it's you get a little bit. When's our next game after Oregon?
Tuesday against Michigan State.
Yeah, so you'll be off Friday. Give them a whole day off Friday, and then you got 3 days of prep where it's kind of pick your day you want to go hard and all. And now it's just, how do you make sure they're ready at game time? And get some prep, you gotta get some prep work in,
Right.
but you get, and make sure that they're ready at game time.
Once Tyler gets back, you'll have a nice problem because you got a lot of guys for limited number of minutes at the 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I just don't see, I wouldn't word it that way, so I'm not sure what you mean by problem.
You got
I don't
too
see
many
that
good
as a
players
problem.
and not enough minutes.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I think maybe the Boston Celtics got too many good players.
Okay.
I don't see that we have anybody on the draft lottery board. I love my guys.
Yeah.
They're great. I know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
A guy's playing better.
Right.
Okay, but I don't see anybody picking us for the Final Four. So, I do, strategically, things, if you look back, there were times where we played Adai and Tyler together. I think Eric played too much in the USC game. And when I said that to you in a post game, I do. Guys, some guys, they're gonna give you what they're gonna give you, whether they play 27 minutes or 36 minutes. So that extra 9, they don't give you anything because they're tired. And they hurt your defense. Whether it's, Mick Cronin or Elmer Fudd out there. I mean, the name of the person's irrelevant. I think, you can, there's very few guys, Kobe's an exception. Jaime Jaquez, guys could play, seniors. They could play huge, usually it's a senior. They can play huge minutes with no drop off. So I still, I don't see it as a problem. I see the problem the other way. I say, hopefully now with Adai, we don't have to play guys that shouldn't be out there.
Yeah. Right.
Right? Because, you got to make sure you got guys out there that are being effective. They're not just out there to be out there. So that's how I look at it, anyway. So I think the more pertinent point of all that is, can Adai and Tyler play together? Defensively, can Tyler, he's going to have to play out on the floor more from his mobility standpoint, which obviously Eric can do that.
Yeah.
Where do you see-
That's the bigger.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
Okay. Yeah.
When you've been seeing that a little bit this year, obviously them playing
Yeah.
together.
I actually have gone back yesterday
Yeah.
and looked at minutes they played together.
And what were kind of your takeaways from defensively, especially?
Well, it was based off of who we were playing. It's
Yeah.
all who you're playing.
Yeah.
It's a bigger challenge if the guy they're guarding is a really tough matchup of extremely fast guy, or Tyler gets caught in switches. Or like in the USC game, there had been times in the season that they had taken AG out and played Ogbo at center. Now we would have had a real problem, right? If you got a die on him.
Right.
I think those are the things that you got to be, if you want that lineup in, and you want Tyler, Tyler at the 4, defensively, how are you going to handle that? If he's guarding a 4,
Right.
a 4th guard, and a smaller team is playing 4 guards. Now Oregon, they don't do that. They play, Brandon Angel and Kwame Evans. So they don't really play where they would play like a 6'5" guy. It's a speedy guy.
Right.
So it's kind of a game thing.
Would you stick Eric on there with Tyler and Adai, or is that giving?
Haven't
him too
really
much?
done that yet, because again, that puts Eric on a much faster
Yeah.
guy, which isn't really his strength. I think he'll be able to get there. I think that hopefully that he'll be able to get there. I think that would be our best rebounding team.
It seemed like Dylan had a lot of the offensive responsibilities on his shoulder last game. Was that a function of Tyler being out, or just a matchup thing with USC?
Look, I think he's playing better. I mean, Dylan, he's playing well. Got to give him credit. Obviously had a rough start to the season. I think his experience is coming through right now. Maybe I'm coaching him better. But I give him all the credit though. He's playing better, And I think that his cramping could have easily and almost cost us the game. Him cramping, it cost us the game at Villanova last year for sure. He went out the last 8 minutes. Now you're out there in the last 5 with a team, a really well-coached team. Coach Musselman been around now. He saw it, so now he's trapping us all over. He saw it, he don't know why, but Andrews isn't in the game, so he's trapping us. He was, the baby to give him the ball where he, in the pick and roll where he's a scoring threat. A lot of things you miss when he's not out there in the last 5 minutes of a tough game on the road. So, hopefully that's not an issue the rest of the year.
How did you feel about those high ball screen actions
With him,
in general and with him? Yeah.
you'd have to give me, there's a million of them in a game, so, you'd have to, I think, those, they dropped it early and then they start trapping it. We got to handle the trap better is what my comment would be.
I think Minna Westwood's doing something to get fans to the game coming up. How much would it mean to have a big crowd for?
Yeah, I always say this. Look, I appreciate the fans that come. I understand we're not in a college town. My thing is our students. We need our students. Students bring energy. Students bring the energy. My dad's not here now, but when he gets here, he's 83. He's only going to be so loud, and he's not going to be on his feet. And nobody wants us to win more than him. No, he'll be for the next homestand. So, so you got to. The students are the ones that bring the energy. You got to get the students are the key to your energy level. So, but I focus on the positive stuff with that. I've been around a long time. There's great things about every job. So I like. You got to weigh it. You got to weigh it. So I won't trade.
Is Oregon playing much different than when you first played them?
Well, Jackson Shelstead got off to a slow start shooting the ball this season for him. And now in the last 5 games, he's shooting 54% from 3, 56% overall in the last 5 games, which is as good as you'll. And though it reminds me when I had to play UCLA in 2017, they handed me the stat sheet, and I'd said it was Lonzo Ball's stats. So yeah, he's really shooting the ball well. He's playing well for them. I think he was struggling early on, but now he's been a huge factor for them. And all these teams that we're all the same. You add a bunch of transfers, and you're probably just more cohesive. Now the schedule's tough. I know they've incurred. They're undefeated in the non-conference, but I think they're 5-4 in the Big Ten. It just shows how hard it is. The Big Ten's just tough.
When games have gotten tight late, more often than not, it seems like Sebastian's been able to, the ball finds him and then he's able to deliver. Do you subscribe to the idea of having a closer? And is there something about him that just makes him a natural in those situations?
Well, Sebastian's got no fear. And when you got a guy like that, he believes he can score at any time. So, look, he's got his strengths, he's got his weaknesses. His attitude's been great all year. He's still a young kid. He's got to learn a lot. He's got to learn to be more consistent. His defense has got to improve. But, when you try to put a team together, you've got different components. So it's good, it's nice to have a Mariano Rivera.
Right, yeah.
They can get a bucket when he can get you an out. We just signed somebody else to the Dodgers. We're low. Didn't we just sign another reliever?
Yeah.
Yates, I think.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Coach Roberts, man, I'm jealous. Putting the pressure on him early. So yeah, it's nice to have somebody to get you a bucket when you need a bucket, and it's in his DNA. It's the way he's wired.
Adai contested, I think, like 7 or 8 threes in that game.
Yeah.
Obviously 7-3 and laying long.
Adai's defense and rebounding are what's got him on gotten him on the floor more and gotten him more minutes. And I'm most impressed with that.
Yeah.
I know he can score if he gets a fair whistle. He is an offensive rebounding. He's just taller than everybody. It matters. He's taller than everybody. And when he puts his arms up, he can touch the rim without jumping. So the only chance you have is to throw him around and push him around at all times. And he's got to, the more he puts his hands up and the more he fights back, the more the officials are going to actually call the foul. Okay, and it makes him a huge factor rebounding wise. But his defense has grown immensely. Because last year, I spent half the year saying Mano Cerriba. I mean, his hands were down so much it was unbelievable. I mean, I literally spent half the season saying Mano Cerriba. I mean, I got tired of saying it. So, now his conditioning is much better. I still think the key with him is his base on his balance. So it's not as much his upper body strength, it's his lower body strength and coordination, but also just his. You build a competitive will to be able to play through fatigue and fight through tough things, and you learn how to get in the ring and fight the fight. It's not a video game. And I think he's just gotten in the ring and he's learning how to throw and take punches.
Is he? I know Biddle, I think, hit a couple threes over him at the first game, and that was why you said you took him out. Do you feel like Adai's experience?
He's gotten much better at that.
Yeah.
But look, Nate can shoot. He's
Yeah.
8 for his last 22 from 3. No, I've known Nate since I recruited him. He's always been a tall guy that could shoot, so just part of it. I mean, look, Adai contested those.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, it's just, there's a lot of good players in this league. A lot of good players in this league that can make a lot of shots.
Think Adai will ever have a 3 as part of his arsenal?
He's got to get more arc on his free throws were flat. I think he gets tired. You get tired, your brain goes to mush, and your mechanics break down. And his free throws, he tends to. So when he throws a dart, he doesn't lift his elbow. Same with his jump shot. I think that he has potential. He just, he's got to. It's all mechanics with shooting. Yeah, I'll give you a funny one. We got to go practice, right, Alex? You watch like Bassis hit a few tough contested threes that were big shots. I would tell you the reason he made them is they were contested. Because his habit is to shoot out the window instead of through the roof. Analogies I try to give the kids. But because they were contested, he had to lift his elbow and finish high. Therefore, he shot the ball with arc, the way he should, the way we try to work with him on. And that's why he made him. All right, man, we got to get
Thank
ready
you.
for Oregon, so
Thank
we don't
you.
have much time.
Thanks, Coach.